Okay, so welcome everybody to our meetup group, Empowerment After a Breakup or Divorce. My name is Sabra Sasson, I'm your host, and today we have a wonderful presenter who's going to talk to us about breakup or divorce, reinvent your future by empowering your style. And we have a wonderful speaker today. Her name is Diane Pollock. She's a clothing designer turned stylist with over 20 years in the fashion industry. She helps busy women achieve an organized and empowered wardrobe by focusing on their unique style, lifestyle, and budget. And she's the founder of personal styling service styleempower.com. And she creates inspirational style boards for Nordstrom website and appears in product videos for them. Diane saves her clients time getting dressed, stops closet overwhelm, and educates them to create outfits they feel empowered in. Welcome so much, Diane. I'm so grateful that you're here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. So
with that, I'm going to turn over the controls to you.
Great. So as Sabra said, we are talking about breakup or divorce, reinventing your future by empowering your style. I'm sure many of you are in various stages of your breakups or divorces, but still, changing your style can help you feel empowered and confident and sort of having a fresh start from it all. So, how many of you open your closet and actually have something to wear? Oh, and feel good about it too. Because I'm sure that there's physically some clothing that you can actually put on. So if your closet is a jumble of items and you don't feel great about them, or if they remind you of your past life and maybe you just want to put some things aside, whether they're sentimental items or maybe you fit into a certain criteria, maybe you were staying home tending children and now you're going to work, or whatever your changes might be, either emotionally or in actuality, you might want to get rid of some things from your past life. And getting dressed can be very complicated by what you're feeling like you're in the mood that day, what's the weather, where are you going that day? Because for instance, and we are going to talk about this as if, you know, the COVID quarantine is not happening, because eventually we will all get out. And if you're going to an office and then going to an event, these are the things that we need to plan for, that we have sort of planned for in the past. So what are you wearing that day? If you're going to an office and then you're going out to a date after, or you're going to an event where you may potentially meet someone, you always want to look good because you never know who you might potentially meet. So this all complicates what are you wearing. So if you need a little change and to uplift your confidence and feel empowered about yourself, then I hope this presentation is really going to help you with some tools and tips so that you can feel confident, renewed, and empowered. Just a little bit about myself. I know that Sabra gave a wonderful introduction about some of my past and what I'm currently doing. Just a little bit way back when, growing up, I was always naturally creative, and that was in the realm of fashion. I always played with my clothing. I redesigned them. I cut, pasted, dyed, sewed, anything to sort of make it more flattering, gave it a little bit more personality, or whatever I could come up with to enhance my clothing. And I also made jewelry. So from this creativity, it was sort of natural that it led me to a career as a clothing designer, where I really got to understand about fabric, about fit, and about construction, and also about designing for I did do mostly women's wear design. I did have a little stint in men's wear, but about how I could put, it's not just my style. It's about how can I apply it to various women with their various styles and budgets and all of that, so that it can be geared towards them and that it can help uplift them. So my company, Style and Power, I call Style for Your Lifestyle. And I help busy women by saving them time, stopping closet overwhelm, and helping them to create stylized outfits that they feel empowered in. So now I'm going to take a moment. I want everybody, you can close your eyes if you want, but think back and remember a time that you felt really fabulous in what you were wearing, and you can add your perfect adjective, your positive adjective, if it's sexy, if it's confident, if it's empowered, whatever it is. It might have been an interview, but I would bet for many of you, more likely, it's a special occasion event, a black tie event, a wedding, something like that. And for this event, you took special care to choose your outfit. For women, they may very well be a dress. For men, it's a special suit or a tuxedo. You took time to choose that outfit, and then to not only just that dress or that outfit, but you really took more care to accessorize it properly. So for men, you know, what is the shirt, the tie, even the special socks, the pocket square. And for women, you took special care. Women have so many accessories. What bag or purse were you carrying? Were you wearing earrings or a necklace, bracelet, rings, jewelry, all of that? Oh, and of course, shoes. The heels, the shoes, what made you feel confident? Maybe the men are wearing special shoes for their tuxedo. So the entire outfit had a lot of thought process. Additionally, for women, you may have taken extra care on your makeup. You may have even done something to up-level it a little bit, an extra coat of mascara, little fake lashes, a brighter lipstick, some eyeshadow that you normally don't wear. And of course, your hair. Even the men might have taken a little extra time on their hair. You could have potentially gone to a beauty salon. So I have the woman on the left here. Even the concept of a great hair day. You walk out of the hair salon and you feel fabulous. You're carrying yourself in a certain way and you're projecting that confidence, that sexiness, etc. So think about that special day and how wonderful you felt. And my job is to really help people be able to feel that way on a regular basis. Now, I know we all have our off days, you know, where we're just not feeling well, the weather is crappy and our hair looks crappy or whatever it is. But on a regular basis, you can really feel that confidence and empowerment, even in everyday clothing. And that's what I help you with. So I was thinking back to when this all started for me. And my first childhood memory was getting my first pair of designer jeans. Now, for those of you that may be around my age, you'll remember that the top exciting trendy thing at the time was designer jeans. It was the time of Sassoon jeans, Gloria Vanderbilt, Jordache, all of those. Calvin Klein. Brooke Shield was known for sticking her butt out with her hand on her hips and showing all the pockets and the designs on these jeans. So I got my first pair of Sassoon jeans. I was about 12 years old, and I went to a sculpture garden with my parents. And my father loved to take lots of pictures. So here I was posing like Brooke Shields, feeling like a model. Oh, I do want to comment too that I took special care to think about what top I was going to wear with my fancy jeans. And I was feeling like a cool kid, like a model, anything that your 12-year-old self would want to feel. So I remember that day, and I remember thinking of the empowerment of how the clothing made me feel. And I said to myself, I would like to feel like this on a regular basis. And so since then, I have taken special care to think about my outfits and put together things and wear things and keep things and own things that make me feel that confident. Now, it may be a little bit easier for me because I enjoy clothing and I enjoy fashion. It may be a little bit more challenging for people for various reasons. But like I said, there are plenty of ways, and I'm going to share many of them with you on how you can feel confident and sexy and beautiful and handsome and whatever you want to feel on a regular basis due to your clothing. So the $1,000,000 coat is a story about a client that I was once with her in her coat closet. And she pulled out this leopard raincoat and she said, "This coat makes me feel like $1,000,000." And I said to her, "Well, how often do you wear it?" She said, "Not very often." And I said, "Well, don't you want to feel like $1,000,000 on a regular basis?" And so, yes, maybe the coat wasn't appropriate for every season or even every occasion, but it was certainly something that she could wear every day during the spring and the fall for more times than she was wearing it. So the point is, if you have things that you love and that make you feel like $1,000,000, you want to make sure you wear them more often. And the other point is that you want to surround yourself with a coat closet, or in bigger picture, a closet in general, with items that make you feel like $1,000,000. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that you just go and trash your whole wardrobe. It is a process and an evolution, but you do want to be cognizant of which things make you feel wonderful. And I know that fashion can be perceived as superficial, and it definitely is, but it can be in this way, in these examples of my designer jeans and this customer's $1,000,000 coat. And I'm sure you all have your own examples, probably some that we just alluded to in your special occasion outfit or whatever it is, that can help you feel empowered. So, I think I mentioned before, it does help you carry yourself in a certain way. And this projects out to the world. So you get to choose how you want to present yourself and how you want to show up in the world. And this means on a date, how you want to exude confidence and sexiness, and your date is going to pick up on that. Or just in general, as I mentioned, you might be out and about and meet people in your everyday passings. And of course, you want to look good and feel good. So one of the very important things is that you are dressing authentically for yourself. So it is always nice if you're with, say, a friend and they say, "Oh, that looks great on you." You do also want to make sure that you feel great in it, because maybe it's more their taste than yours. So of course, it is one good step to hear a compliment from someone. So I have two different stories with each one has a little bit of a twist on how you can know if you're feeling authentic. These are two pictures of me. And if anybody knows me, as much as I love a trend, I have always had curly hair. There have been tons of trends with the hair straightening and all of this, but I have always kept my curly hair. One day, though, I was at the hair salon and it was a frigid day and I had to walk home from the hair salon, and I usually just walk out with my hair dripping wet. But they suggested I get a blowout, and I figured, okay, why not? It's cold out. It'll be something new. It'll be a change. So I had this blowout, and I walked out of the hair salon, and the owner said, "Oh, you look fabulous." And I came home, and my husband said, I don't know, he was excited to come home to a new wife. And throughout any time that I had this blowout throughout the week or whatever it was, whenever I ran into someone for sure, or had a meeting or a date or whatever it was, they for sure had to comment on it, because this was not my normal self. Now, whether they were genuine or not, I'm not sure. But throughout the week, every time that I came home and looked in the mirror, I was like, I don't get it. I don't feel confident and beautiful in it. So I washed out the blowout, and now it's been many, many years, and I don't feel like I ever need to have a blowout again. So, as much as we all love a compliment, you also want to feel like you are genuine in your look or your clothing or whatever it is, because if you are not feeling authentic to yourself, it is not going to bring about that confidence and empowerment that we discussed. Now, the second story is very much related with a little twist. As we mentioned before, I was a clothing designer for many years, and one of the benefits of it was that I got to take home a lot of the samples. And one of them was this beautiful red blazer. It had some sequins intermixed with it, and I had given it to my mother. And my mother and I were going through her closet. She gets freebies, and it no longer fit her. So I tried it on, and red is a color that looks great on me, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit too. And the jacket wasn't exactly my style, but I took it home and I did style it up with other jewelry and shoes and other things that were my style. And I went out to an event. And at this event, and I knew when I walked out the door, I looked in the mirror and I knew I looked good, although I was still having like this little bit of a nagging feeling, something's a little off. I went to the event and I think I got about 4 or 5 compliments. I came home and I got rid of the jacket. Why was that? Because throughout the event, it still felt very inauthentic to me. So in this instance, in the first instance, I was getting compliments, but I didn't feel that I looked good. In the jacket instance, I was getting compliments. I knew I looked good, but I still didn't feel authentic. And so I got rid of it. So whatever it is for you, just make sure when you are wearing it that you feel authentic, and then it'll bring about that empowerment, sexiness, positive feeling that you want it to. So one of the questions that I get a lot is what's appropriate. And I talk about this from many instances, not only about dates, although of course about dates, which is where we are going to focus, but this can actually apply to some of the things can apply to various other events, whether you're going to a school reunion or whatever your events are, some wedding or something. Sometimes they have like these, instead of your traditional formal, semi-formal, they have these crazy tags. So you can think about some of this in relation to dates, but also you can sort of extract certain things that you could take away related to other events that you're concerned about what to dress for. Because like I said, you never know who you might meet. So the first thing is, where are you going on this date? Obviously, a coffee date during the day is going to be much more casual than out to dinner at a restaurant. But what you will see when you go out to a dinner, if you're not talking like a really casual restaurant or a super elegant place, is you will see an entire range of what people are wearing. To the biggest range, I even experienced this recently on a New Year's Eve, where people were wearing jeans and people were wearing sequins. But on a regular basis, jeans, dressy, nicely, polished outfit jeans are very well appropriate at a decent restaurant. And of course, on a regular basis, sequins is a little bit out of the range of appropriate, but you might be wearing a nice dress, you might be coming from work or something. So where are you going and what is the range of appropriate? For instance, if you're going to play miniature golf, wearing stilettos is not appropriate, but wearing them with your jeans on a date in a restaurant is. So what is your range of appropriate? For the women, you also want to think, Within that range, do you prefer wearing dresses or skirts, or do you prefer wearing pants? Within that range of appropriate, you get to choose what makes you feel good. As long as, there's always going to be some people that are a little bit more casual and a little dressier. And you get to choose within there what makes you feel good. You also want to know your audience. This is a little bit, obviously your audience is your date and you want to look good. This applies a little bit more to, you're going out after work to a networking event, and is it a corporate event and that sort of thing. Or in a case of mine, it was a school reunion where I knew everybody was very casual. But maybe if you've met this person before, or at least have a visual, a virtual meeting or something like that, sometimes you can even gauge, how casual or dressy the person is. But usually it's like, where is the location you're going? And then just what makes you look and feel your best. So I know we stress out a lot about dressing for dates and dressing for lots of occasions, but really stay within that range and then just choose, as they say. Well, I should have said this with the authentic, but you be you. So a little bit about virtual dating, which seems to be a lot more common now and probably will be for a while. A first impression is still a first impression. So how do you want to present yourself? So you're still going to do some prep work as if you were going to be on an in-person date. You're still going to, what is showing, have a great top. What color is it? What colors do you feel good in and look good in? What does the neckline look like? It also depends. I know there's very little of me showing right now, but some of the, depending on how you're set up, maybe further back. And you're going to think about how opened is it? How much cleavage is there? What kind of jewelry are you wearing? You're going to think about all the different things. Assume that your whole top section is your first date where you are. You do want to have fresh makeup. You want to make sure your hair looks good. So you're going to look and feel good. And it's funny, but even like when I do presentations like this, you may want to brush your teeth or put on perfume, because these are things that just make you feel good. You feel presentable and empowered and all of that. So even though nobody's going to know if I brush my teeth or put on perfume, you kind of know yourself, and that has its own sort of empowerment. So that is the first one. Then logistically, I am not a tech expert, but some of the little things I have picked up, and there may be people that are better with photography and all of that type of thing. But you do want to check your image in the computer beforehand. You might want to make sure you're not a floating neck. You want to make sure the angles are proper on the camera. I'm on a laptop right now, so I was just adjusting the cameras. You want to make sure that the lighting is good. You don't have crazy shadows. For instance, I have a white background. I don't want to be wearing a white top. Again, that would be like a floating head. Crazy prints might do certain things. So you just want to sort of make sure that you have a beautiful background. It's either white, it's a nice picture on the wall. You can even do Zoom virtual backgrounds. It's not all Zoom, but some of it is, and maybe FaceTime or something. Just make sure you're positioned in a place where, the background is, if it's your bedroom, or your living room, whatever. You don't want to see clutter. You don't want to look messy. So think about all the different logistics, not only yourself, but around you, and how you're going to show up on the camera. Check the lighting, not too dark, no shadows. So just as for those who know about photography, the best pictures are when you're looking into the sun, although you don't want to be squinting. You do want to make sure that a light source is on you, but again, no crazy shadows. Like my hair could, be shadowed out to here and look crazy. Also, I've seen that sometimes if you do use the fake backgrounds in Zoom, I think it sort of clips around your hair a little. So make sure that it doesn't give you a strange hairdo. And then just, you know, the regular, be yourself and enjoy the conversation, and hopefully it's a good one. So what's age appropriate? So I'm not quite sure of exactly, you know, the age range of who is here. So I'm just going to give you, I'm not going to go into all details, but I am just going to give you my basic guidelines. I do love these two ladies. They are older, and yet they choose to be trendy. The one on the left on the fur coat, she's like a fashionista. And the one on the right in the turquoise jacket, she's just all about creativity and fun. So if you choose to be trendy or have fun with your clothing, I say absolutely yes. I use the word beboppy. You don't want to have anything too beboppy. An example that I give for myself is if I want to follow trends and I want to wear green or blue nail polish, great. I'm just not wearing neon green nail polish. I'll wear like a more subtle shade, something a little bit more sophisticated, but it's still a trend to wear olive nail polish or sage or something like that. So the color cut and styling are important. You want it to be sophisticated and not look cheap and young. Sometimes that's younger people's tastes, and sometimes it's their budgets. But I do say, really, the only age that a woman needs to change her style, and actually men too, I would say, probably more so with women though, is right around, it's an age range, right around your mid to early to mid 20s. So this is you're getting out of school, you're getting rid of out of your school wardrobe, and you may have a lower budget, you can still get away with things. This is when you're transitioning your wardrobe to a grown-up wardrobe. And after that, I think that there are no benchmark ages. You don't turn 30, 40, 50 or whatever and say, I am doing this to be age appropriate. I have a cousin who turned 40 and she cut her hair short and she said, I'm doing this to be age appropriate. And I said, oh, well, when I turned 40, I got my hair longer. So you don't want to make yourself age appropriate and age yourself. Do it. Michelle Obama cut bangs. Fabulous. She didn't do it because she thought she's 50 and women with bangs that are, women who turn 50 and older wear bangs. She did it as a celebration, and that's great. But don't think that you need to stop wearing something because you turned a certain age. If you have great arms, if you have great legs, if you have whatever, and you want to continue to wear your bikinis or your mini skirts, it is not a landmark age. So age is what you make it, and it's who you are. Your body may change, and that's fine if you want to change things, or you may not be quite as interested in pursuing fashion at certain ages, but don't just do it because you turn a landmark age. How can I look great on a budget? Now, it may be a new budget because of the divorce. You may have whatever your reasons for budget, and budget can mean different things to different people. But let's just talk about how you can get deals, let's say. So some of them, the first few are a little bit obvious. You can get on mailing lists to things, stores, your favorite brands. You can get on their emails, you can get texts for all of these things. So you can be notified when there's a sale or a special inside or something, and you can be first to know about it if you like a store or brand. There are tons of apps, and they do various things, and these are some. I have not used them all, but I'll give you some examples, like Red Laser. You can scan, you download the app, you scan the barcode, and then it will find which store has the best price. Some of the other ones, oh, I didn't update this list, something like Honey will find you coupon deals as you shop online. So there are, if you're a tech person and like apps, there are all different kinds of apps you can use to save money. So you can look at some of these, take a screenshot, or you can Google various ones because they do different things. You can also Google for online coupons. So I know that certain stores always have coupons. It used to be Lord and Taylor's back in the day. We don't have one in Manhattan anymore, but there are various other ones. Macy's always has coupons. Ulta Beauty always has coupons. So you can Google for a coupon if you know that you're going to that location. If you're in a store, and of course this is all when we can go back out to stores, you can ask the salesperson for a coupon. I know in Lord and Taylor's, they always used to say, oh yeah, here's one, I'll just scan it for you. So they had one readily available, or they'll tell you the number to text to for an immediate coupon. If that is not the case and it's not on sale, you can ask them if it's going on sale. You can, stores such as Bloomingdale's have pre-sales. So they'll say, well, it's not on sale today, but it's going on sale on Friday. If you buy it right now, I will give you the sale price for Friday, but you cannot pick it up until Friday. So that's a pre-sale. So that's another option. Definitely utilize the sale people. They know, they might say, oh, it's a newer item. If it won't go on sale for a long time, or we've had it for a while, it's probably due to go on sale soon. So they are a wealth of information to help you. Of course, you can shop at discounter stores if that's your thing. I know that they're very overwhelming to many people. We used to have the Lomans and stuff, which don't exist anymore, but we still have a TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and then of course all the discounters like Nordstrom Rack, etc., from the department stores where you do have better prices. But of course you have to weed through that. It may not be your thing. So not everybody knows what an adjustment is. So what it is this will only work with big department stores and chain stores such as a Banana Republic or something. This is not going to work with a mom and pop, a one individual or small stores. Let's say you go to Banana Republic and you buy a sweater for $100. And then 3 days later, you're walking by, you see some big sale signs, and it turns out your $100 sweater is now $75. And you're like, can't believe I spent $100. You can go into the store. Often you don't even need the merchandise. You just need the receipt that says that you purchased it 3 days before, and they will credit you back the $25, the adjustment that is now on sale for. Now, each store has their own policies. This is never going to be an option like 3 months down the line when things do go on sale. Often the time frame is within a week. It could be 2 weeks, whatever the store says the adjustment period is. If they have one, you would have to find out, but it's certainly worth inquiring about. And there are also various credit cards where you get a price guarantee. Now, each credit card company is different, and even within each card, I'm sure there are different ones, but there is something in one of my credit cards where you can basically just register that credit card within your credit card company. And basically when something shows up on your credit card at a certain price, they do some monitoring of other stores. And if there's a better price at another store, I think that they will give you the credit. I don't recall exactly how it works, but they will notify you that there are better prices for it. So the rules, and I'm just going to check our time because I'm not sure how much time we have. Okay. So the rules. So we all know about old school fashion rules. And I say, no, there are no rules anymore, but there are guidelines that I give my clients. And I feel like right now, many of the traditional rules have been broken, and we all get that. So we've all heard about white pants before Memorial Day or after Labor Day, no white pants. And we know that that has sort of been broken, because we also know that come Labor Day, it's not like the weather goes from 80 to 60 and you're just not going to wear it, or the weather stays warm for quite a while, and so it's not like on this date you need to change it. However, I do think that there are, it's nice to change your wardrobe. Some people are more seasonal than others, but also, at a certain point, some of your heavy clothing doesn't always look as great with white. It's sort of a disproportionate balance. We also, there used to be no spring suede, but now it comes in multiple colors, so people don't even think about that anymore. There's mixing metals, your golds and your silvers. I actually still prefer not to mix my metals, because I like to wear big, bold pieces, and I feel like it looks a little bit more cohesive if you can keep your metals consistent, but it's no longer considered a faux pas. And matching shoes and bags went way out the window, especially since we, for many years, have had like lots of colorful bags, etc. But what I wanted to point out is this woman in the picture. Now, she is a fashionista, and she is breaking all the rules. And I have to say, I know and recognize her as a fashionista, and I feel like fashionistas in a lot of store displays and even ads in magazines break all of these rules or guidelines, many of which I convey to my client because I feel like they help with a better polished look, or especially for people that aren't fashionistas. But I would say certain things only fashionistas can get away with. So for instance, the color combination here, I don't think is the best. Her proportions, she looks like she's drowning in these proportions. She has the large size tunic. She should be wearing with skinny bottoms, or a full and relatively long midi skirt is voluminous, so she should be wearing it with a snugger and shorter top. Those are two of my guidelines. She's a fashionista, she gets away with it. For the average person, I don't recommend it. I don't do it. And of course, the sneakers with the skirt, that has become a trend. As a person who loves trends, I don't like the way that looks, but it's a trend and I acknowledge that. So unless you are a 1% fashionista, there are many rules and guidelines that I recommend that might help you with a more cohesive look. So whether or not you like it, you're being judged. And I'm actually going to skip that story because I do feel like I'm going over a little bit on time and I want to get to the meat of it. So I do have some things that I want to show you, and I want to make sure we get to them. So fashion can be intimidating and it can change so quickly. It feels hard to keep on top of. I get that, especially for the people who aren't fashionistas. But I also think that you don't have to spend a lot of money, as I said, and there are ways that you can learn to put yourself together in a fabulous look. Or as I say, take you fine to fabulous in a few simple steps. And I'm not going to go into all details, but I hope you'll agree that the picture on the right with the black top looks much better than the picture on the left. And these are all things that were within her closet. We didn't even go out shopping. So some of the things are things that you own that might look better. Some of the things you may need to buy, but it's not always about going out and buying a whole new wardrobe. So here are my tips for you. Tip number 1 is tailoring. So it can be a little bit more expensive. I understand that, but it can make your outfit look so much more expensive. It can also be more flattering. So I think it's a really important tip, especially since not everything off the rack is going to fit everybody. Everybody is different shapes and sizes. Women especially have various curves and shapes. And one important thing to realize is, as much as some of us hate to buy a larger size. If your proportions are larger in one area, you do need to buy the size that will accommodate the larger area, and then you can tailor the other things. If you buy the smaller size and it's tugging and pulling and whatever in your area where you're larger, it's never going to look good, and it's going to draw attention to your larger area. So better off buying the larger size and tailoring to it. Quickly, in this picture, the dress looks like a sack. There's no shape to her waist. By a little pinch in the waist, you give her a little bit more shape. And we also just shortened it a little bit to show her legs. And it is so much more flattering. And then here, we want to talk about, which I had alluded to before, what looks good on you. So for me, I know that bright colors look good on me. I started out by just thinking it was orange, and then I realized it was really, and I love orange. And the red looked good on me too in the jacket, but didn't want to wear it. So red isn't my color, but I mean, it looks good on me. It's just not who I am authentically. But I realized that bright colors look good on me. And also this skirt, which it's hard to see, but it is an A-line fit and flare skirt, looks great on every body type except for the apple, which is a little bit more voluminous. So I know that these bright colors and this shape look good on me. So what you want to do is go to your closet and identify the clothing that you look good in, you feel good in, and maybe you've gotten compliments. And what is it? Is it the color about it, or is it the shape about it? Identify what that is, and those can be some of your go-to things without being redundant. So if I want another A-line skirt, I don't want another leather one, but I could do a denim one, and I could do an A-line dress, and I don't want another bright yellow blouse, but I could do a yellow coat. I could do various other things, yellow sweater, etc. As long as you're not being redundant, you can identify what these things are and use them as guidelines when you're shopping to gravitate towards them. Doesn't mean that these are the only things that you want to wear. How to flatter and camouflage. So if you have a big expanse of fabric, and that means by high necklines, it means like a dress in a big solid collar. If you have a big expanse of fabric, it may make you look bigger and more expansive. So what you can do is break up these areas. It can be broken up with a necklace, a scarf, a belt, accessories. Also clothing that has color blocks down the side, seams, zippers, anything that cuts it up will generally be more flattering than a big expansive fabric. So take that into account for areas that you feel a little bit larger in, and you want to wear color and print and draw attention to areas that you like, and you might want to go darker and more subtle, less bells and whistles and design details, etc., in areas that you don't feel as good in. Tip number 4 is don't buy trends that don't work for you. Again, you want to feel authentic in them. You want them to blend into your wardrobe. So every season, you don't even have to buy trends if you don't like trends. That's fine. But when you see the list of must-haves, it's not a must-have for everyone. So if it works for you, great. Tip number 5 is to accessorize. I cannot stress this enough. Accessorizing is so important. If this woman were just wearing a tan coat, she'd look blah. But what she's doing is she's wearing a scarf, she's wearing a hat, even her glasses are fashionable, and they all, without competing with each other, they all work together to create a more cohesive look, which brings me to the 3-piece rule. Is that on this slide? I can't see the bottom of it. Oh, it is. Okay, sorry, go back. So the 3-piece rule is when you have basics, a basic top, a basic bottom, you want to add at least a 3rd piece to make it look like a more stylized look. So it could be a piece of clothing, such as a cardigan, a blazer, that type of thing, or it could be an accessory, such as this woman is wearing a belt, a hat, a scarf, anything. It really makes the look more interesting when they're basic items. And of course, when you have a dress, it's the two-piece rule. You want to add at least something to the dress. Sometimes the items may even need a fourth piece, or can take a fourth piece without being overly accessorized. So this is some of my accessorizing guidelines. You want to follow mood and shape. So these are taken from magazines. I'm sure many of you have seen these. They're sort of mood boards. And these two have various, they both have red in common. And I also ask you to picture maybe a Chinese Asian board with Asian floral motifs, gold and squirrely ornate things. So all three of these boards have red in it, but it doesn't mean that the accessories are necessarily all going to go with each other. So for the first board, I see it as very linear and graphic. So I see it as very modern too. I could picture big, like the silver ring on the bag, big silver geometric linear shapes, accessories. On the second board, I would not go with metals. I see tassels, I see colored beads, I see fun, a little bit ethnic type of items. And for our Asian board, here you're going to go with ornate and gold scrolly as opposed to the other one, which is silver and graphic. So colors do create a cohesive look, but sometimes there are other things that have moods that might warrant different looks, that things don't necessarily work just because of the color. So if there is a theme, not every piece of item has a theme and a vibe to it. If it doesn't, if it's basic pieces, then we go to the three-piece rule and we can accessorize with almost anything. But follow the mood and also follow the shapes. So if you have if there's a shape in a print, an Aztec print, they have these very diamond or triangular shapes. So if you have jewelry, don't go out and buy it, but if you have jewelry that sort of mirrors these shapes or is similar, you might want to gravitate towards those things. So these are very basic guidelines that I give my customers. And how not to over accessorize. So if you have like items, they generally stack. We've seen stacked rings, stacked bracelets, stacked necklaces. Generally, you want to go with small size items to stack. But you also want to be careful, like in this instance, the woman, her bracelets, the gold ones all go together. But the other bracelets, I'm not sure if they're rhinestones or pearls or what they are, but they're sort of like a whole different vibe. So I would not stack the gold with the other bracelets. So you do want to be careful and sort of make sure that they have a similar theme to them. She also has, this big belt. And I don't like when you're wearing a big long necklace and a big belt, if you have too many things going in different directions and they're all bold. So the point is, if something's bold, let it be your focal point. If it's a statement necklace, let it be your focal point. Don't wear statement earrings too. You can have too much going on in one area. Yes, you can wear little stud earrings with a statement necklace or none at all. So go for the one statement if it's large, and if it's small, you can stack it, or if it's or not worry as much. There's not as much personality or mood that we discussed before in little delicate pieces. They can really mix and match with everything. And finally, how do you instantly feel empowered? So you could, if it's you, put on some bold colored lipstick. You could put on heels, and you can put on perfume, or for the men, cologne. And then you can instantly feel empowered. So certainly if you're going from the office to a date or something, one or many of these things can help you to feel great. And that is all I have for you today. I do have more details, and I'd love to help anybody individually. This is my contact information. I appreciate you can check out my website. I do have a free ebook, Date Dressing Do's and Don'ts. Feel free to download it. I also offer anybody who's listening, part of Sabra's tribe, a complimentary consultation on the phone for about half an hour if you have personal issues that you want to discuss. And finally, right now, since I can't be in your closets, I am offering a 90-minute uh, virtual closet help where we can go in and help you get rid of items and create new outfits or whatever your needs are. And that is $197. Or just contact me or sign up for my Insider News newsletter, and I'd love to chat or connect with you.
Awesome, awesome. Wow. Thank you so much, Diane. This was absolutely incredible. Such a wealth of information. And also you brought me back to my childhood years when you spoke about Sassoon jeans and Calvin Kleins and feeling like $1,000,000. I can totally relate to that. You have that special outfit and like you feel like you can only wear it on special occasions, but why not pull it out if you feel amazing in it and wear it more often? So thank you for those tips and for talking about things. As you can see, I put a little bit of lipstick on uh, while you were talking. You got me inspired, and I'm so grateful that you're here, that you're able to do this presentation today. And absolutely, people should be checking out your website and signing up for your newsletter and for all your tips. I'm on that newsletter, and I get it, and it's really fabulous. And you always have really wonderful things to share and tips. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And I look forward to talking to any of your people that need help or share with their friends. You know, I know women are always talking about with each other, you know, that they have nothing to wear or what are they going to wear. So, you know, pass on the information. I'm happy to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you. Bye-bye.